Surrender.
Yes.
Surrender is a thing for me. It's a thing for me. We think that living in surrender means doing nothing and letting God do the thing.
Right.
And living in surrender has a very proactive aspect to it. Because you live in surrender means that you live a guided life and that you act on what you're guided to.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were unhappy in that old job, you surrendered and you said like, okay, God, I'm done fighting with this thing and resisting it and being angry at it and going home with negative energy. I'm going to surrender it to you, literally. So can you tell me what to do? Sometimes it's not that fast and clear, right? Like I always wish God would be like, Betsy, this is your next step. And it doesn't work out that way.
Right.
So sometimes you open the Bible and Bible bingo and it, and it works. But most of the time, it takes a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the answer comes at the speed of surrender. Clarity shows up at the speed of surrender. I think the moment you surrender, the moment you say, okay, God, I'm listening, that's the moment that you receive the guidance. Not because that's when He gave it to you, but because it's when you were ready to receive it.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher appears when the student is ready. So tell us a little bit about that story of surrender and what guided action looked like for you.
The first time or the second time?
Or the third or the fourth or the fifth?
Yeah, I know. Every day is surrender. But so the first time I surrendered, and I was guided because it was like a definitive answer from that book. And I didn't doubt it. I trusted it. The second time, which was my decision to leave the classroom 2 years ago.
But you haven't told us about that.
So I was year 3 of teaching at the new school where my kids were going, teaching 5th grade at this point and loving it. I had a teacher partner who, her and I were inseparable and childlike together and silly and fun, and the kids were all having so much fun. So I had no reason to pick up and go. I actually felt really sad about letting that part go. And then I had my assistant who became my best friend. And everything was in line, but my heart wanted more. And my heart knew that it wasn't that I wanted more, it was God needed me to do something different. God needed me either to I don't know if it was make a bigger impact or be still, or just like take in all that I had accomplished that far. And when I was at the tail end of my cohort, of my experience in the Faith-Based Coaching Academy, I don't even know I can't tell you like what moment it was, but it was just, I was able to make the decision without even thinking, just saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pursue this coaching and I'm not going to look back. And my husband, who's amazing and awesome, and because when you live in surrender and you don't worry, you know that God is going to take care of you, abundance comes. And that's another thing I've learned from you. And so it wasn't fear of not having any money. It wasn't fear of taking this huge pay cut. It didn't have anything to do with that for me. It had to do with God's asking me to do something, and I need to answer that call. So when I tell him, he's like, all right, let's do this. So I told the school I wasn't coming back. And the story I told myself was that they were going to be mad at me and that, I was going to let everybody down, because we do that. We tell ourselves stories and we give excuses so that we just stay put where we are or where we were.
Where it's comfortable.
Yeah. And I didn't let myself do that. And that provided, I did that. I was able to leave and leave with joy, leave with excitement. I donated all my stuff. And I said,
all the teacher stuff.
And I said, let's do this. And then I was able to have time. I was able to see my kids off to school in the morning. I was able to wave goodbye because my oldest was driving them to school. So I was able to experience what life was like without having to get to work and go and be in the hustle and bustle, because believe it or not, I worked with my kids, but I didn't see them half the time. They would go to their class and I would be in my classroom, and if there was an event, I had to be with my class, and they had, they were in their classrooms with their friends' parents, but not with me. So I did it, and I was able to experience that, and I was able to be still, which is what, at the beginning, I think is what God wanted me to do. So I was still. I learned how to make sourdough bread. I was able to serve by giving people free bread, free sourdough bread.
You coached?
I coached. I did the cohort again, so I took the time.
So you coached private clients?
Private clients. I coached kids. I had some teenagers. I had some 4th and 5th graders. I had parents. I had an older woman who was a challenge, but I loved her.
Couples?
Had couples. I had a slew of clients that I learned from. I not gonna lie, I was nervous every single time, but they also taught me a lot about the fact that I could coach, and I could at this point do something different. See, I always thought that my identity was just teaching, and that's it. That's all I was gonna be known for. And coaching provided me the perspective that I have value, and all my experiences have value.